Hello friends, myself Sanjay Kumar Adhikari, and today I am going to discuss about the programming language should be chosen as per your background and interest. And this blog is in continuation with my last blog about programming concepts. So please subscribe this YouTube channel if you have not done yet. Key takeaway from today's session: understanding of front end, back end languages, identification of language as per the area of interest, Intel processor evolution to understand the development in programming language strategy. Let's take a quick tour of Intel processors as use case. So here I will go to this Intel processor use case, this one. If you see that all these processors starting from uh, I will show you this. So starting from this 4004, and now here you see that uh, only 740 kilohertz was the speed, and L1 L2, forget about any other kind of cache there. And after that, let's say up to 8085, if you see that speed improved, and is still no cache kind of thing, then here L1 cache I can see here. In case of 80486, then L1 cache, then Intel Pentium, this Pentium, and L2 cache only at Atom. I can see that here. You can also look into the from the Intel side. And now latest one, right now Intel Core i5, anyway, that available in India as well, and here you can see 1.0 to 4.2 gigahertz, and this side you will see L1, L2, even L3 cache, that is up to 4 megabyte, and latest one you can see that i9. See the speed and other features available into that. This is up to 24.75 gigabyte for this L3. So why I am discussing this? If you go to this Intel 4004, maximum clock we have just seen this 740 kilohertz, and it has 4-bit data bus, and what it describe that able to directly address 5120 bits equivalent to 640 bytes of RAM stored as this. So this is the achievement with that. So with such a limited RAM, assembly is one of the possibility. If you are thinking of, anyway, assembly is the possibility always. Okay. If you think about high level language, only basic could be one possibility. Okay, and so that byte you know mm, uh, changes or whatever. Then now we have this Intel Core i9 with 4.3 gigahertz core speed and this memory. So the device itself has L1, L2, L3 caches apart from that provision of DDR4 RAM memory. So I am discussing only about volatile memory. I'm not discussing the non-volatile memory right now because our program is going to execute in the volatile mainly, and the language, high level language will use that, correct? And even microprocessors are in gigahertz, core speed and megabyte cache range available. Not only these CPUs, high-end CPUs. So this technical revolution has resulted the possibility of executing multiple operating system in one device. For example, if you take a case of any ARM-based multi-core device, so there are cases of like in one is working Linux, one core, another is working VxWorks, that kind of thing is there. So, however, CPU architecture will still follow three basic operations apart from advanced like read, write, branch. That is load, store, branching are the three basic operations will always be there. You will still find assembly hardware specific basically in the time critical routine and C in the operating system implementation. So assembly, that is hardware dependent, means assembly for MIPS, assembly for ARM, assembly for this AVR core. So that still code is there. So here, like for example, if you take the case of famous Arduino Uno, so do you think the complete code, boot code itself C++? I have discussed this in my earlier blog. So please refer to optiboot.c file. I discuss in this blog how to find where is the file and all that. In that you will find this int main attribute naked. What is the meaning of this? So here is that quote from kill compiler. So this attribute tells that compiler that the function is an embedded assembly function. This particular, the compiler does not generate prologue, epilogue sequence of function with this attribute. What does that mean? It means that when it goes inside the function, inside that function call, it will basically there will be no storing of local variable like normally when you call a C function, so there will be like push of earlier register values and other values, and after that pop from the at the end there will be pop. So that is called prologue, epilogue kind of thing. So those will be not there, and it as you can write the whole function itself in assembly intended to do that. So that's why this attribute is there. And high level language comes with the implementation overhead. For example, I just discussed like in one of that function you have to have this prologue C function, prologue epilogue, that is called the stack related. And if you talk about other languages like Java or Python, so there is like interpreter is there, but at the same time there are other factors like development time, maintenance of the code, reuse of the code, which drive the language popularity, modularity of the code. Another major factor is target application. What is your target application? Okay, so if it is let's say web server, and that device itself is capable of hosting one operating system, and then depending on your application, it should not matter if you write even if other languages like Java, Python normally used for those kind of things. So even after those overhead. But if it is like a small microcontroller, you are going to implement something, some time critical routine in that. Okay, so then Java may not be the option. So let's take a look of these top languages. I have taken in fact 5 here. Assembly is the low level, hardware platform dependent. So as it is anyway not high level, so that's the low level, and assembly for like ARM, Power, Intel, AVR, RISC-V. C high level, hardware platform independent. So C language written for, suppose if you write simple C hello program. So same include stdio.h and then you print hello. So print of hello. So that will be same in the ARM, same in the Power, same Intel. Correct. So hardware platform independent. Make a note of the terminology platform, and I have mentioned hardware platform. If you simply look for platform in that, so it depends on in what context it is being discussed. If it is hardware, then hardware platform. It is software, then it is software platform like Mac OS, you know, Windows OS, Palm OS, Android. So that is software platform. I am talking right here hardware platform. C++ also same thing, high level language, but object oriented programming concept is there, modular approach is there. C++, that is the benefit. Java, high level language, object oriented. Anyway, these will inherit that other from the earlier one, and the properties. So software platform independent. It means Java program written in one particular platform, Windows, can run in Linux also, provided all other version everything are same. So this Java run under Java virtual machine. So basically the your Java compiler, when it compiles, it generates a bytecode, and that bytecode is same for all different software platforms. But that virtual machine which will execute this bytecode is software platform dependent. What does it mean? Software platform dependent means that particular virtual machine has to be developed for Windows OS, Windows whatever that runtime libraries, everything may require. So that's why we called it software dependent. Sorry. So that depends on whatever it requires, library and all those kind of things at that time. And the virtual machine is basically software platform dependent and part of the JRE, Java runtime environment. Python, high level, object oriented, dynamically typed. Okay, make a note of this word, dynamically typed. You don't have to define int x, you directly start x. So that's why it is easiest. And software platform independent, similar to Java, run under Python virtual machine. You call it interpreter. The virtual machine is software platform dependent, similar to Java virtual machine. So in the above list, the execution speed, if you think about, obviously assembly is the closest to the your target. So it will be the faster assembly code. That's why the time critical routine we use assembly code. Next is C, C++, Java and Python. But development time you will be faster in Python. So both Java and Python bytecodes are loaded into corresponding runtime environment and executed by virtual machine. Java is statically typed, means you define the type and then compile and run it. Python dynamically at the runtime it you know take care of this thing. So software platform independence make them popular, both of these languages. Here is the type survey. I will show you directly in that here. Sorry. Here you can see Java October 2018 as compared to October 2017. Java is the top one, then C, then C++, then C, then Python, and below you can say picking up other languages like which we can discuss later. Right now I'm not discussing like R or any other language, PSP and all those kind of things. So, but this doesn't mean that we should directly jump to Java. Okay, Java is the number one, we should learn this. Let's try to understand it further. The popularity of the language given here based on their implementation in web server, mobile computing, data science, machine learning. So this includes the complete software industry product, this particular chart. Okay, so popularity is based on that. One should filter out the language based on academic background. What is your academic background? If you are from, let's say, IT background and more interested towards this web development and all that, that is one thing. If you are from electronics background, you have done microprocessing, you are towards embedded system, that is different thing. If you are from, let's say, a mechanical engineering background and then you may be interested in let's say robotics and would like to see for some framework kind of softwares where you can utilize Python. So that is another thing. Okay, so this is just one example, and your interest also depends on your interest, how much time you have to learn the language. And if you are already in some sometime business or something, you are choosing some language, then you have to also look for the price budget, training required for that language, what kind of tools required for that language, whether you prefer a career in front end presentation layer. Okay, like for example, if you open a web browser, so whatever comes on the front to the user, that is called front end. Back end for data access layer background. So I have given one example to understand this also. Full stack web developer, to understand this better. Web developer has the ability to work on overall application, including front end, which use HTML, Java, JavaScript, many other languages maybe, and back end mainly Ruby, Python, Java, database query administration, system level software, networking, security. These things full stack developers should be able to work on this. Project management and client coordination also, that's called full stack developer. Java is also used in Android application development. Python is used in web development, data science, machine learning. So these are the areas. Can I try simple Java code? Java is the number one. So why we should try at least, you know, what is this, to understand that how this happening. So you should have this JDK installed, and for example, so actually what you need to do, you need to, at that command prompt, you need to go here and run as administrator, then start working. So first of all, if you go to this particular command prompt using that, then you simply check whether you have Java installed or not. Just a moment. Should be okay. It's there. Then if it is not, then probably you can check in your path as well. And it will give the path. You can check the path. So if it is not there, then you can set path using this command. So this is for basically Java compiler, this path, JDK. Okay. So other thing, this for Java compiler. After Java, you have to try Java compiler. If it is not there, then you have to set the path. And for the top also, you need to see whether Java is working or not. Make a simple test.java in Notepad. You can see that here all that everything type, everything is mentioned in that was when compilation like C, you have to do then Java test. So I have already one file here, so it generates a test.class. This is the compiler Java C. So if I go to that, I can show you directory. So I have test.class, test.java was the original file. So, and it generated test.class, and if I simply run, make sure just Java test, not that, so test, okay, it will come. So now just I would like to verify that this particular test.class is platform, software platform independent. So I have copied the same code here. I will show you. Here also in the Linux system also I used Java and let's say check the Java is there. Oh, I have to write this, and I have copied only test.class here. You can see that. So Java test. Fine. Then okay, let's come back to this. So we just verified that it is software platform independent. Now what is inside, as a curiosity, not required, but what is inside this class, sorry, test.class. So test.java we have just seen using the cat, and you cannot for this even if you write, let's say, cat test.class, if you try to see that, test.class, so you will see this kind of character. So this is not And also we can try readelf test.class. No. So simply obj dump. Uh, Let me, for example, even header if I read, that will also say file format or not recognized. What is the last option? We can check then in a hex editor. So I use this as hex editor, and if we copy this, you will see this, hex editor, this data. Okay, so apart from that, we have seen right now that languages, based on their applications, we understood what can be the speed, and based on that, Java and all those kind of things required. Java, Python required that at least that software platform or hardware platform should be capable of, hosting that particular virtual machine environment, Java runtime environment, correct? So if you look to that particular particular folder, so you will find in let's say program file. Let me check whether Java is here or not. So here Java runtime environment is there. JDK is not there, so I cannot compile, but I can use the Java runtime environment is required for, you know, this library, everything comes inside this. Okay, and binary you will find the Java. So in this particular machine, I cannot compile. So this was compiled anyway in different machine and different Windows machine. So there should be no confusion in that. And other thing we need to check that which language sustained long, and that also depends on that legacy code. Suppose today if some company is having lot of Java based applications, so they will definitely prefer that further application in the Java only, correct, and they have like some C based uh, implementation in embedded low level platform, so then they will prefer that to utilize that legacy software written for years. We have also seen that speed wise, okay, like C or C++ is better than Java. So that's why that operating system like Linux are developed using this kernel like Linux are developed using C with the overall picture. From you can directly look into that. 2002 to 2018. So this is the Java C. C still second number. So C is the fastest high level language. Okay. So thanks, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share this with other friends. Okay. Have a great time.